there's a roar. He does he do it roar. Here comes the avalanche. Here comes the avalanche again, my friend.
Welcome to Revolutionary Thinking with me, your host, Ariel the Avalanche. This is where we get your stereotypes, put them on the examination table, get out a sledgehammer, and smash them into smithereens, and throw those smithereens into the incinerator. Last time we came down on filthy rich people with fragile egos. This time I'm going to be coming down on people who say just get a job. Just get a job has got to be one of the dumbest, most intellectually lazy phrases to ever be uttered in the English language or any other language at that. Now, how did I come to that conclusion? Well, let me ask you, who's listening to this. Would you ever tell someone in a wheelchair to just walk? Would you ever tell someone choking to just breathe? Or would you ever tell someone who is illiterate to just fill out an application? And my personal favorite, I'm hoping that no one would actually be stupid enough to tell someone playing the slot machine to just win. Some people's childhoods and upbringings have allowed them to have massive advantages, whereas others felt as though they had to struggle to survive and had things called adverse childhood experiences. And these adverse childhood experiences followed people all the way to adulthood. So if you have that kind of drama and trauma in your system, it's going to take a while to handle all of that, and especially if you grew up in bad and dire circumstances. Yet, if you were a child of privilege, and I'm not saying all children of privilege don't have adverse childhood experiences, a lot of things that are traumatizing and create a lot of drama also go on in privileged people's households too. But there is an access and a lack of access determining who gets qualified and not qualified for what types of jobs. And to overlook all of that like a complete idiot and just stereotype people for being less than or lazy, that is not a holistic way of looking at the world. And that's why I despise that phrase so much. And that's why it disgusts me, because we are actually hurting the people who need help the most. Now, having said all of that, I do realize that we do live in a capitalistic, competitive society, and not everyone is going to have a chance to heal themselves from past traumas and past wounds. And yes, it's better for them to find work, and sometimes work even helps them get their minds off of some of the things that are bothering them in life and actually give them a chance to do something that they can really plug into. Even in that case, I want people to understand that all jobs are different, and there are also things called vocations and careers. So vocations and careers sometimes are really the things that people can plug into and find a sense of purpose, whereas just a job that makes people feel like they're robots and doing the same repetitive tasks over and over again can sometimes crush people as well. In some very special cases, if someone has a degree and has completed 3 different training and skills programs and are still down on their luck, The phrase "just get a job" is only advice that an utter moron would give someone. If you're not doing anything to help a person and you're just condescending and you're being a douche and you're punching down, your behavior is making those same people resentful and frustrated. If you don't even know anyone that's hiring, then you can just go and fuck yourself, please. Because you're just making the situation worse. Now, believe it or not, despite the title of this video and my attitude here, I am actually pro-jobs, and in fact, at one point, I thought that the federal jobs guarantee was a good idea. What I found very strange was, why does public education hardly talk about jobs? Why is career day only once a year when you hit high school, and jobs, finances, careers, and vocation hardly encompass our modern education system curriculum, and it's more about memorization and regurgitation? In fact, when I got out of high school, the only thing on my mind was to find a job that I actually wanted and actually enjoyed, but the guidance was absolutely terrible. Now, for all of you just get a job mentality people, doesn't that seem a bit ironic to you? If you went up to a job seeker in the middle of a street and told them to just get a job, what would you expect that person to do? The nearest shop that he's close to, go up to the person working at the front counter and tell that person, just hire me? Will that work? Or will that person be told, apply for the job online? And then they go online and they have to fill out 100-page test and a survey and have 3 people as references. You're the person who told that person to just get a job. Could he use you as a reference? And after he uses you as a reference, and then he doesn't have an address, he doesn't have clean clothes, and the hiring manager tells him, well, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Oh, I live in that shelter, I don't have any clean clothes, and I haven't worked in 2 years because I went into bankruptcy and I had a tragedy in my life and both my parents have passed away. And then they said, oh, we're sorry, we're looking for a candidate with different credentials. And then another person sees that same person in that situation and tells the guy to just get a job. Do you idiots honestly think you're helping with that mentality? Or is there something more that we have to look at that's more systemic than the actual individual's faults? Now, maybe you can appreciate that this is all holistic, what's happening over here. We can't measure how well our country is doing through the stupid, idiotic measurements that we have now that are the GDP and the unemployment rate. We have to also measure how happy people are. Because you want to know a secret? Happier people are more productive. They produce more. And you can also look at some people, they have tons and tons of money, but all they're doing is managing or coasting off of their inheritance. But they don't get the same kind of abuse than the people who are truly struggling, because maybe we can see them more and they're more out and about. We have to have a more holistic way of measuring progress in our country than just by assuming if everyone is employed and how many things we're selling. That is an extremely dumb way of looking at progress and how developed a country is. especially now in the 21st century where technology, AI, and automation are making more and more work obsolete. Now, if there's anything I'd like people to just get, it's the concept of ikigai, which is a Japanese concept meaning reason for being. And this is important because it's not just about getting a job, it's about what are you going to be efficient in, what are you going to like, what's going to add value to the world, and at the same time, is money going to come from that? So let me just read out some of the things on this concept. Doing what you love and combining that with what the world needs is your mission. Now, that might mean you might or might not get paid for that. Now, doing what you can get paid for and what the world needs is a vocation. Now, you might not be doing what you love. Now, what you can get paid for and what you're good at is your profession, but at the same time, the world might not need it. And doing what you're good at and what you love is your passion, but you might not get paid for it, and the world might not need it. So there are all of these sectors, and these sectors work well when most of them combine. It's holistic, and I'll explain. Your passion and your mission provide you with a sense of delight and fullness, but no wealth. Your mission and your vocation provide you with excitement and complacency, but a sense of uncertainty. Your vocation and your profession, you're comfortable, but you have a feeling of emptiness. And your profession and your passion leads to satisfaction, but a feeling of uselessness. But when you get all of this and you combine it together, meaning you're delighted, you're full, you're excited, you don't have a sense of uncertainty, you're comfortable, there is no emptiness, and you feel useful and you're satisfied, you're getting paid for all of it, that, ladies and gentlemen, is ikigai. It is holistic. It is your sense of being, what you exist, and what you find your mission in. This is important because as much as I disagree with Donald Trump, he said one thing that I actually agreed with when he won the election. He says he sees a lot of potential in this country and it's all going to waste. I differ with Donald Trump because he was looking toward the past to bring out that potential in people, and the past doesn't work anymore. We can't keep looking into the past. We don't need Stone Age mentalities in a space age world. One day we're going to look back on all of this and realize how barbaric and idiotic we've been for just looking towards the past to explain what we need to do with our future. To reiterate, just get a job is one of the dumbest phrases in any language that's ever been spoken, and if we really care about the future of humanity, progress, and dignity, we're going to really have to take a deep dive into this concept of ikigai and remake our schools and educational institutions to look deeper into humans holistically rather than just human capital stock. We need to unlock people's potential for being problem solvers, creators, and holistic thinkers. That was me coming down on people who say just get a job. And on the next episode, I think I will be coming down on the concept of showing kindness to cruelty. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Avalanche. I will see you on the next episode.
Very young.